This video will focus on the motor neuron. We see here a smear of motor nerve cells. The blue structures, the larger structures here, are the cell bodies of neurons, and the smaller cells are glial cells. In this view, we're at the 10x objective currently, and we're going to move to the 40x objective. Here we have the cell body of a neuron. It actually looks as though we've got more than one neuron stacked on top of one another. So this is the cell body. It's the biosynthetic center of the neuron, which means that all of the organelles, the nucleus, and all of the machinery that manufactures the biological molecules for the cell are housed here in the cell body, or the soma. This pale region in the center of the cell body is the nucleus. The dark dot in the center is the nucleolus. We can see that the soma, or cell body, narrows into various cell processes. In this microscope, with the resolution we're capable of, and on this slide, with this staining technique, we are not able to distinguish between the dendrites and the axons. So for the purposes of this slide, we would call each of these cell processes, or neuron processes. If we move to another region of the cell, we can see several more cell bodies. We have 1, 2, 3 stacked on top of one another, but this nucleus is very well defined with that dark nucleolus in the center. We can see that there are scattered nuclei all over this slide. Some of them look as though they are immune cells, and some of them will be glial cells. If you notice, some of the glial cells look as though they're all lined up in a row. I want to bring your attention to some of those more linear structures. So here we have 2 rows of glial cells, and what this appears to be is an axon with Schwann cells forming that myelin sheath around the axon. If we move to a different region of the cell, we can see that in a little bit more detail. So here we see them lined up in a row. When you're studying this slide, pay attention to these structures and see if you can find an axon just by looking at the glial cells.